everyone, I am Demenda Kirby and welcome to my channel, The Commander Tavern. The Commander Tavern is a channel dedicated to my favorite Magic the Gathering format. On this episode of Barkeep Upkeep, I'm going to present a way to win with Hedron Alignment in Commander. Don't worry, this video isn't a prank. Well, maybe just this part.
April Fools! Don't worry, this episode will show you how to win with Hedron Alignment in Commander. So, if you want to know how I figured it out, keep watching. Also, if you like any of the cards I'll be mentioning throughout this video, please consider using my TCG Player affiliate link when purchasing those cards. You can find that link down in the description. It'll really help out the channel. The best way you can help support the channel is with my Patreon. For just $1, patrons get early access to certain videos on YouTube. There are many other benefits to being a patron, so check them out. You can also support my channel for free by simply liking, subscribing, and sharing, which also helps out a lot. You can join my Discord server for free if you want to join the Commander Tavern community. All pertinent links are down in the description. Alright, let's get back to the episode. In the previous episode of Barkeep Upkeep, I presented some of my favorite combos in Commander, which you can find in the link here. If you're interested, just check them out after this video. In that episode, I explained how to win in Commander with Battle of Wits. Since it was a bit convoluted, I have since tinkered with the combo and eventually figured out how to get it work much more simply. So stick around to the end for a bonus combo. As for this video's combo, longtime viewer of the Commander Tavern, Crovax13, wondered how we would be able to pull off a Hedron Alignment win, to which I hadn't yet known the answer, but now I do. So without further ado, let's crack this nut. As with the Battle of Wits victory, the ideal commander for a Hedron Alignment win is Richard Garfield, Ph.D. Kind of wish he was all 5 colors since he did create Magic the Gathering and the entire 5-color mana system, but I digress. Thanks to him, we are able to cast spells as any other spell with the same exact mana cost, essentially playing a game of mental magic during a game of normal magic. Obviously, Richard Garfield Ph.D. is a silver bordered card, so you need to rule 0 him in a game, but the combo doesn't use any other silver bordered cards, so he could be the only one, if that helps out your case. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's see what we need to actually pull this off. Step 1. Have the following cards on the battlefield: Richard Garfield Ph.D., Hedron Alignment, Sphinx of the Second Sun, Mycosynth Lattice, or any card that can repeatedly turn a permanent into an artifact, March of the Machines, or any card that can repeatedly animate non-creature artifacts, Uyo Silent Prophet, or any card that can copy a sorcery, Karn Liberated, or any card that could exile a permanent or cards from hand, and Ghostly Pilferer, or any free instant speed discard outlet. Step 2. Cast some 2 blue card as Hedron Alignment. Step 3. Cast some 1 and blue card as Sinister Reflections. Step 4. Activate Uyo copying Sinister Reflections. Step 5. Target both copies of Hedron Alignment with each copy of Sinister Reflection since they're both artifact creatures and thus legal targets. Step 6. Exile one of the conjured copies of Hedron Alignment from your hand with Karn. Step 7. Discard another one with Ghostly Pilferer. Step 8. Pass through your phases until you get to your post-combat main phase. Sphinx of the Second Sun will make it another beginning phase, giving you an upkeep step where you have a copy of Hedron Alignment in your hand, one on the battlefield, one in exile, and another in your graveyard, thus winning you the game. Alternatively, you can omit the Sphinx and wait until your next upkeep to win, but you would have to protect your winning state until then. Fortunately, since you're controlling Richard Garfield Ph.D., you could cast any remaining cards in your hand or extra copies of Hedron Alignment as any counterspell to protect your win until then. But it's still a bit risky to do it that way. Keep in mind that apart from having so many options to have these effects, you don't even need to have the specific card, since you can cast any card as what you need, providing they have an identical casting cost. So this is actually much easier to pull off than at first glance. In fact, you can even use Teferi's Protection to protect this winning state. Here's what you need. Step 1. Cast some 2 and blue card as Tome of the Infinite. Step 2. Activate it, conjuring a random card from its spellbook. You have a 20% chance of conjuring a card that costs just 1 white mana, so do this until you get either Light of Hope or Swords to Plowshares. Step 3. Cast either one of those cards as Dragonfly Pilot. Step 4. When it enters the battlefield, it conjures a copy of Dragonfly Suit into your hand. Dragonfly Suit has an identical casting cost as Teferi's Protection, and can thus be cast as such to protect yourself and board state to ensure the Hedron Alignment win. Although you'd obviously need either a mana rock or a land that could tap for any color of mana in order to pay for the white cost of Dragonfly Suit. You won't need it for either Light of Hope or Swords to Plowshares to cast as Dragonfly Pilot, since Tome of the Infinite gives those cards a perpetual effect, letting you spend mana of any color to cast it. Granted, doing this when you really need to gives you an only 1 in 5 chance of getting this, so do it as you go along in the game so you can keep that Dragonfly suit in hand as a potential Teferi's protection. Alright, as mentioned in the beginning of the video, this episode will close off with a potentially simpler way of winning with Battle of Wits. Step 1. Have the following cards on the battlefield: Richard Garfield Ph.D., Omniscience, Battle of Wits, and Sphinx of the Second Sun. Also, have in your hand an instant that can blink a creature, such as Essence Flux, Planar Incision, Siren's Ruse, Displace, Illusionist Stratagem, Ghostly Vicar, etc. There's a bunch of them. Step 2. Cast a 2 and a blue card as Futurist Spell Thief, conjuring a duplicate of one of the previously mentioned cards in your hand when it enters the battlefield. Step 3. Cast a duplicate targeting Futurist Spell Thief. Step 4. When it returns to the battlefield, conjure a duplicate of one of the previously mentioned cards in your hand. Step 5. Repeat until you've conjured over 200 duplicates of the card. Step 6. Cast a wheel like Time Reversal that shuffles all cards in your hand and graveyard into your library. Step 7. Pass through your phases until you get to your post-combat main phase. Sphinx of the Second Sun will make it another beginning phase, giving you an upkeep step where you have over 200 cards in your library, thus winning you the game with Battle of Wits. Alternatively, you can omit the Sphinx and wait until your next upkeep to win, but you would have to protect your winning state until then. You also don't need Omniscience to bypass casting all of those copies of the Blink spell. If you're generating infinite mana with an engine like Isochron Scepter imprinted with Dramatic Reversal, and enough mana rocks to get infinite blue mana, you can just cast them that way too. Granted, there are other ways to win once you have either Omniscience or infinite mana with the Dramatic Scepter combo, but those aren't nearly as impressive as winning a Commander game with Battle of Wits. Another thing of note is that since Sinister Reflection costs 1 and a blue to cast, there are plenty of counter spells with an identical casting cost. Using Richard Garfield Ph.D., you can cast them as a counterspell not previously used in order to protect your combo. Or you can try and get a Teferi's protection as mentioned earlier. So this one might actually be better than the one in the previous episode of Barkeep Upkeep. To all you viewers, I hope this video has been as fun to watch as it was to make. I love solving puzzles in Magic where I have to see if any given problem has a solution. I figured out the solution to Battle of Wits and now finally figured out the solution to Hedron Alignment. Granted, these spicy interactions are only possible thanks to Rule Zero discussions, so hopefully your playgroup allows you to use Richard Garfield Ph.D. in your Commander games since he is the key to getting these wins. I would like to thank all my patrons for supporting me, and a quick shout out to all my higher tier patrons, the Brewers, for their patronage. I'd also like to thank anyone using my TCG Player affiliate link. That also helps out the channel. I would also like to thank our prankful narrator for the beginning of the intro of this video. And to everyone, thanks for watching this episode of Barkeep Upkeep on the Commander Tavern. I am the Medic Kirby, and thanks for listening.